Netflix's Worst Roommate Ever certainly lives up to its name, and the episode featuring Tammy Fritz is one of the show's most shocking. Worst Roommate Ever is a chilling true crime docuseries where roommate relationships turn ugly and illegal. Specifically, the show follows true accounts of roommates with malicious and sometimes violent intentions as they turn their victims' lives into nightmares. Premiering in 2022, Worst Roommate Ever is a welcome addition to Netflix's lineup of top-notch true crime shows, garnering critical acclaim and a 100% Rotten Tomatoes score. Some of the most gruesome confrontations on Worst Roommate Ever include Casey Joy and Jameson Bachman, but the story of Tammy Fritz and James Bowden may have them beaten. They were featured in Season 2, Episode 3, Burning Down the House, and their story is extraordinary. Although their relationship was never romantic, the two of them shared a close sibling-like bond, which made their fates even more chilling. While in Fort Carson, Colorado, James met and befriended Tammy's husband, Rich, in the military, which is where his misfortune began. Tammy Fritz's background explained. Her husband died under mysterious circumstances, though she was never investigated. Tammy Fritz with son Christian featured on Netflix's Worst Roommate Ever. Rich Fritz died in 2001 at the age of 28, and his death was considered suspicious because he had no major health issues. He was also cremated at Tammy's request, despite him mentioning he wanted to be buried. Since Rich was in the military, Tammy collected $150,000 in benefits when he died, and made even more money, as she took out a life insurance policy just weeks before his passing. However, Tammy has never been investigated in connection to Rich's death due to lack of proof, via MovieWeb. Soon after Rich's death, Tammy and her son, Christian, found themselves with no one to take care of them. James Bowden and Rich were so close that, upon Rich's death, James decided to leave the military. Since he didn't have any other prospects and was inseparable from her husband, Tammy offered James a place to stay. Tammy Fritz and James Bowden's falling out. Bowden moves out after suspecting Fritz of drugging him. Bowden is interviewed in Worst Roommate Ever, after his attempted murder. In December 2001, James moved in with Fritz and Christian. Although Fritz and Bowden's relationship was never sexual, Bowden considered himself a part of their family. Bowden and Christian soon became close, as Bowden served as Christian's surrogate father. Fritz also accommodated Bowden financially. Things took a turn when Fritz and Bowden went out drinking one night. Bowden remembered that he felt much more impaired compared to the amount of alcohol he consumed. The following morning, Bowden woke up and could not move. He went to the hospital, where his test results came back inconclusive. The incident was enough for Bowden to grow suspicious. He moved out of Fritz's home in February 2006, via Distractify. Did Fritz attempt to murder Bowden? She made multiple attempts and enlisted the help of friends. In 2009, times were rough for Tammy and Christian, as she had been using drugs heavily and also had previous run-ins with the law. Fritz was accused of and being investigated for identity theft, credit card fraud, and check fraud and was being investigated for those crimes. Meanwhile, Bowden was gearing up to return home to Alaska, move in with his parents, and go back to school. Before Bowden was set to leave town, Tammy invited him out for one last get-together. Two of her friends, Michelle K. Heaston and Sean Richard Legault, who were dating at the time, also attended the gathering. Meanwhile, Bowden's mother hadn't heard from her son despite calling him multiple times. She asked the property manager of his complex to check on him. The manager found Bowden unconscious in his bed. Allegedly, sometime after the gathering, Tammy's friends, Heaston and Legault, snuck into Bowden's home and beat him with baseball bats. Later, Fritz confessed she was behind Bowden's attempted murder. She admitted to taking out a life insurance policy for Bowden back in 2005 when they were living together. Fritz had asked Heaston and Legault to kill Bowden so that she could collect the life insurance policy payout upon Bowden's death, via Denver Gazette. Fritz had tried to end Bowden's life multiple times before the near-death beating. She had tried to poison him when they went out drinking. And, as the episode title Burning Down the House suggests, it came to light that Fritz tried to burn their house down. Bowden remembers waking up to a small fire in the house, via Women and Home. Where is Fritz now? Fritz was sentenced to 48 years in prison. Tammy Fritz close up. In May 2015, Tammy Fritz was sentenced to 48 years in prison. She was convicted on multiple counts, including attempted first-degree murder, solicitation of attempted first-degree murder, and one count of conspiracy to commit first-degree murder. Her accomplices, Heaston and Legault, didn't go to trial as both accepted plea deals. Heaston was sentenced to 15 years in prison for first-degree burglary involving assault or menacing. Legault is currently serving a 26-year sentence on similar charges, via the Cinemaholic.